In this video, we will discuss seeds and how to plant them. What is a seed? A seed is a dormant baby plant inside of a protective cover. Seeds are the primary way that plants reproduce. From the outside, we can see the seed coat, which protects the baby plant. Inside of a seed, we can see the baby plant, which is called the embryo. Here you can see the tiny leaves. They are not green yet, but they will be when they emerge and receive sunlight. We can also see the endosperm. The endosperm contains starch, protein, and fat that will help the embryo grow. Where do seeds come from? Seeds are produced when flowers are pollinated. Here we see milkweed flowers. When they are pollinated, the seeds develop inside of a green pod. In the fall, as the seeds mature, the pod turns brown and splits open, releasing the seeds which float away on air currents to a new location where they will grow. Seeds may have many different shapes and sizes. Some plants produce very tiny seeds, while others produce very large seeds. For example, tomato seeds and lettuce seeds are very small. Beet seeds and pea seeds are large, and pumpkin seeds are very large. This picture shows two wildflower seeds. The tiny seed on the left is for mountain mint. The larger seeds on the right are for purple coneflower. Seeds may be produced on the inside of fruit or on the outside of fruit. The apple seed is produced on the inside of the fruit, and the strawberry seeds are on the outside. When animals eat these fruits, they help to move the seeds to new locations. Some seeds are produced inside of a pod, like these snow peas or these locust seed pods. A nut is a fruit composed of an inedible hard shell and an edible seed. Some of the trees in our arboretum grow nuts, including beech and oak trees. Animals like chipmunks and squirrels often use nuts for food. They may bury some of these seeds and nuts to use as food during the winter. Some of these seeds that they bury will grow into plants in the spring. Some seeds have a feathery tip that allows them to be carried by air currents to a new site to grow. Some seeds have a sugary, sticky substance on one end. Ants are very attracted to this sugary substance and will carry the seeds to their underground tunnels. Inside the tunnel, the ants will chew off the sugary substance and leave the seeds to grow. In this way, ants plant many of the wildflowers that grow in Pennsylvania forest. Conifers are plants that produce their seeds inside of a cone. These seeds may be carried in the wind or collected and buried by rodents. Seed dormancy. Seeds stay dormant until the environment is right for them to grow. These acorns are resting on the soil surface in March. They will wait until the soil begins to warm and they have adequate soil moisture to germinate. Acorns that are buried by squirrels or chipmunks have a better chance of growing because they are surrounded by a moist soil environment. Some seeds remain dormant for a short time. They may only need moisture from rain and contact with soil to germinate. Other seeds require sunlight and water to grow. They will stay dormant if they are covered with soil, but will grow if the soil is turned and they are exposed to sun at the soil surface. Some seeds require the cool temperatures of winter before they can germinate in the spring. People can simulate winter by putting seeds in moist sand, soil, or peat and putting them in the refrigerator for at least 30 days of cold treatment. Some seeds need more than 30 days of cold treatment. When people simulate winter by giving seeds a cold treatment in refrigeration, it is called stratification. Let's take a look at the germination process. The first stage of seed germination is called imbibition. This is when the dry seed coat begins to take in water and the seed swells. As the seed swells, the seed coat will break open. As the seeds become hydrated, the tiny cells of the embryo begin to divide and expand. They use the starch, protein, and fats that are stored in the seed to fuel their growth. The tiny root, called the radicle, is the first part of the baby plant to break through the seed coat. The radicle will grow downward to anchor the plant into the soil. The radicle will take up water and minerals from the soil so that the plant can grow. Next, the stem emerges from the seed, and it forms a hook that pulls the seed leaves from the soil. The seed leaves are called cotyledon. The seedling begins to straighten out, and the cotyledons will open up. Next, the true leaves and the stem will grow into a new plant. Now it is time to start your own wildflower seeds. Your seed starting kit contains the following items: a plastic tray and a sheet of cell packs. Each opening is called a cell. It also contains potting soil, a bottle with holes drilled into the lid, 2 species of wildflower seeds that have been stratified in moist sand for 30 days, labels, and a plastic bag. The first step is to put the potting soil into a clean bucket and slowly add water until the potting soil is moistened. Mix it gently with your hands to ensure that there aren't any dry spots remaining. If you don't have a plastic bucket, you could try gradually adding water to the soil while it's still in the plastic bag. Next, divide your cell pack sheet in half. Be careful, the edges can be sharp. You will sow 1 species on each half of the tray. Gently add the moistened potting soil to the cell packs until it is level with the top. Do not pack the soil into the cells with pressure. Next, read the labels on your seed packs. Some of the seeds need light to germinate, and they will say to cover the seeds lightly. Some of the seeds need to be covered with soil in order to germinate, and the instructions will say to cover the seeds. Use your finger or a pencil as a dibble to make shallow holes in the surface of the soil. About 1/4 inch is deep enough. If you are sowing the large seeds, you can separate them from the moistened sand. Each pack contains enough seeds to sow 2 seeds in each cell. Use potting soil to cover over the seeds in the hole. If you are sowing very tiny seeds that need light to germinate, mix the seeds evenly through the sand in the bag. You do not need to dibble the soil, just scatter the sand and seed mix across the surface of the cells carefully. You can use a very thin layer of soil over top of the seeds and press down gently. You want it to be thin so that the sun can penetrate the soil and hit the seeds, but the thin layer of soil will help to keep the seeds moist. Now add the labels that are included in your pack so you know which plants you are growing. Fill your water bottle with room temperature water. Screw on the cap and gently water over the surface of the soil to help the seed contact the soil and ensure moist conditions. Allow excess water to drain through. Then put the seed cell packs into the solid tray to keep your countertops dry. Put the trays near a draft-free window where they can stay warm and receive sunlight when they begin to grow. Cover the seed tray with the plastic bag included in your kit. Now it is time to wait and watch. Germination takes time. Check your trays each day to see when the seeds begin to germinate. All of the wildflower species that you are growing are perennials. That means that they'll grow during the summer and go dormant during the winter time, but they will regrow again next spring. They will survive for several years. Some of the perennial plants may germinate uniformly, all at the same time. Other perennial plants may germinate sporadically over several weeks. When about 50% of the seedlings begin to germinate, remove the plastic wrap. If one species of wildflower germinates before the others, uncover just one side of the tray. Do not allow the soil to dry up. You will need to check the soil each day to see if they need to be watered. Be sure to check them on Friday before you leave for the weekend. The soil in the tray on the left has a light brown surface color, indicating that it's started to dry. The soil on the tray in the right is dark brown, indicating that it is moist. You can also use your finger to feel if the soil is starting to dry. We are using solid trays beneath the cell packs to keep your schoolroom clean and dry, but because they are solid, they can hold excess water. Do not allow the cell packs to sit in water. If the roots sit in water, they can begin to get root rot, and they will be deprived of oxygen, which can lead to death. After watering your trays, wait about 5 minutes and then drain out any excess water that has collected in your tray. As the seedlings begin to grow, turn the tray every day or two so that the seeds do not begin to lean in one direction. Seedlings need plenty of light, and leaning indicates that they are not getting enough. The seeds that you plant will eventually create food for wildlife. In the next video, we will discuss how to care for your seedlings and how to prepare them for their life in the Arboretum.